Now, I'm sure people listening to this only thought of smoothies as being something sweet, like a dessert almost. There are smoothie franchises all over. You can even walk into most Whole Foods and see the smoothie bar. But when you look up there on the menu, even if you get to make your own, they're very fruit based. Now, I did want to first of all, I do want to say that not everybody's sensitive to oxalates, but years ago when I was really, really working with kids with autism, and for some reason they were extremely sensitive to high oxalate foods. When they were tested by Great Plains labs, they were shown to have issues with oxalates big time, and always also with yeast. So I want to just say that people with yeast infections, which is the millions of people, they are going to be sensitive to oxalates as long as the yeast infection is active and out there and not under control, because the yeast are also making oxalates. So if you eat a food high in oxalates and the yeast are making oxalates, you're going to have a reaction. So it's really important to understand that, because there are lists. Susan Owens has a list. Sally K. Norton has a new book out on superfoods. That's not exactly the name, Sally K. Norton, but she has her list. They vary a little bit. And one thing about oxalates, they're going to be a little bit different. Like, for example, in New Zealand, pecans are very low, but maybe somewhere else, like Georgia, pecans might be higher. So, it's a really tricky topic. Seeds, flax seeds are low, chia seeds are super high. And yet I like to add some seeds, especially ground flax seeds, or not unground, but when they're ground, then they really become fiber, and we do need more fiber. So we do make those short chain fatty acids. Um, anyway, so I've been studying oxalates for a very long time, and I see how many people are now on them, because almond milk is really popular. Beets are super high, and people were, when I first started, really into juicing, and juicing was beets and carrots, and they were so extremely, juices were very, very high in sugar. And I thought, wow, they don't have fiber. They're super high in sugar. They're very damaging to people. And people that would, eat them all the time, bragging because they thought they were having this great food, aged very quickly. Um, so, excuse me. So I think it's important to know if you're sensitive to oxalates. And one way you can test that is you can take a high oxalate food and then just by itself, and then eat it, not with anything else, just by itself, and then see if in a little while, even the next morning, you have a reaction. Like everybody, they cause pain. For me, if I have like I say, a Chinese herb, and I don't know if it's high in oxalates or not, my left eye starts getting very dry and achy. It's a very common symptom, and very common among the autism community. And some of the children have scratched their eyes out because of so much pain. Almond flour, like you go down the aisle of the health food store, and every delicious cracker cookie box mix, all of them are made with almond flour. It seems really hard to find them, especially if they taste good, to not have almond flour. That was a big, big issue for these kids, because their mother wanted to, still give them pancakes and breads and birthday cakes and things, but they were using almond flour. So they got into big, big trouble with that. Anyways, I just want people to become aware that oxalates are a problem for a large number of people. And when you make your smoothie, don't put in chia seeds, but look for the alternative. Flax seeds would be the alternative. So I love the concept of smoothies, but I think they need a lot of education around whether they are unique to you. I mean, are they the right smoothie for you? Now, another issue is histamine. Histamine is a huge problem, besides oxalates, and FODMAPs. Like, so many people have problems in the small intestine, and they get a lot of gas and bloating when they eat a lot of foods.